what it is that I was teaching earlier, because I had some things going on in my environment earlier that made it not suitable for me to continue streaming. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is go right into exactly what it is that I was teaching earlier. And that is that dealing with the digital world, and how, based on reading the title, you can see that I'm pretty much letting you know that the digital world is the bridge between the spiritual world and the physical world. And this is something that we know based on evidence that I can show. And the evidence that I'm speaking of, that I was showing earlier, is something called, not to copy anyone, but it's very significant too that that number is where they're saying that. You see that that is 2045, and my discovery is 45 degrees of an angle, and that right there I set to be built in 2045, or start to be built in 2045. The pyramid. But anyway, 2045, 4.5. And what I was letting you all know is, and make for sure you hit the like button if you come to the stream. What I was letting y'all know is the digital world is a spirit, is the bridge between what we're knowing now as the physical world and the spiritual world. So what is the 2045 initiative? The 2045 initiative is a nonprofit organization that develops a network and community of researchers in the field of life extension, focusing on combining brain emulation and robotics to create forms of cyborgs. So that means humans turn into human immortality. So the fact is, all of this stuff that you're talking about as far as the digital world, digital by definition, I was showing earlier, is expressed as a series of the digits 0 and 1, typically represented by values of a physical quantity such as voltage or magnetic polarization. Now, we also know of digital clocks as well. Now, something that's important is the root word digits is number. That's a synonym for number. Any of the numerals from 0 to 9. That's what the discovery is here that I show you, that I have, that I've been showing you all. Nobody showed those numbers like this. So what I'm letting you know is there's something very important that y'all are overlooking. Don't ever let anyone tell you all that there is no purpose in knowing anything about numbers. That is the bridge between all realities. And that's what I'm trying to help you all realize, is that these numbers that y'all use, like the numbers y'all are using right now to communicate what y'all are trying to communicate to me, you understand what I'm saying? Those numbers literally help you throughout the universe. You don't have to say a word to me. And y'all are doing exactly what I'm talking about right now, using numbers. Moving as a group. Y'all as a group know who all you are. Now, back to the point in the presentation, not to veer off path too much, but that's just fact-based. These numbers that I'm showing you literally are something that is a universal language. It's not mathematics that is a universal language like you've heard from other people. All mathematical discoveries exist only because of numbers, and that's what I'm trying to show you all. I've been letting you know that this is the most special mathematical discovery, the greatest mathematical discovery of all time. And I'm not stretching by saying that. Your greatest grandmother would be the eldest grandmother of your family tree, your greatest, 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 greatest grandmother. And so the eldest grandmother that you could possibly think of, grandmother, this is just an example. We don't have to be talking about a grandmother, but this is just an example that I went into. But if you could go all the way back to your greatest grandmother that started your lineage, that is the greatest grandmother that you have, right? And so the fact is, when it comes to other mathematical discoveries, I am saying that this is the most important mathematical or greatest mathematical discovery of all time, because the other mathematical discoveries only exist because of numbers themselves. If you understand that, if you did not have numbers, you would not have be able to do mathematics at the root. So that's the first tool that you need in the toolbox to do mathematics or create or discover anything with mathematics and equations and functions and things like that. You have to understand this. See, so why am I saying that? That's because that's the key to understanding all realities, numbers. That's the bridge at that point. And so what they're literally what I'm telling you is, and showing you is, the digital world, the computer world is a bridge between. It's a bridge between what they're calling the spiritual world and the physical world. They're showing you that with the 2045 initiative. That's what backs what I'm saying. When you look up what digital is, that's what the 2045 initiative is based on digital. So I'm showing you that the digital world is what they're using to bridge the physical and the spiritual. And I keep repeating that redundantly for a reason, because that's what you see right here said for the Chicana as well. And so that's very important, that this mathematical discovery that I'm showing you, that you see geometrically outlined and seen in other places all across the world, and you don't see any numbers written in these mathematical or geometric shapes like the Chicana in India and Arabia, like I've showed you. What I'm showing you is that they're digits, they're numbers. It's a way of recording numbers. It's a form of mathematics in itself. So, any of the numerals from 0 to 9, especially when forming part of a number. Now, part of a number is a decimal or a fraction. A number can be understood as having various parts depending on the context. These can include digits, place values, or the number itself as a whole. Digits. So you see this digital world? That's the digital world that they're showing. Let me show you something too. Digital fonts. You see how it looks like pixels? And another thing to understand is Digimon. If I went into that, Digi. So the Digi aspect of Digimon, fractal code. There's something called Digimon, and fractal code is the data that makes up a Digimon. Digimon can be obtained. So this is what they were teaching you as children. And a lot of y'all don't know what fractal codes are. A fractal code is the data that makes up a Digimon and can be obtained when a Digimon is destroyed. It is the fabric that makes up the digital world itself. A fractal code. And that's literally what you're seeing with everything. Fractal codes, the Mandelbrot set is a fractal code. My discovery is a fractal code. So fractal code, also known as the fractal surface code, in the context of error correction, involves creating a hierarchical structure or structure by removing qubits from a 3D surface code on a cubic lattice. This method allows for a hierarchical error correction approach, improving robustness and fault tolerance in underlying classical codes and fractal surface codes, and from self-correcting memories, contributing to the code's ability to handle errors. So you're talking about something that could also help with artificial intelligence. As far as the world that we're living in, it is the root of artificial intelligence. Yes, fractal codes, which are mathematical equations that generate fractal patterns, can be used to train AI models to recognize objects and learn complex patterns, which is the root of everything that y'all are using here today. So this very AI stuff that's listening to me and watching me outside of the human beings literally is built off of fractal codes. And so the fact is, if you're going to fight against the powers that be, when you wonder what is the purpose of this video and what do you really gain out of this video, I don't know whether anyone else is showing you. This is like somebody showing you medicine that you can use in order to help yourself. Once you learn the real language of the universe, you can then utilize these keys in order to fight back against the powers that have power over you, such as the Illuminati that y'all say does and does not exist. And so they have a dollar bill with an eye on the back of it, and that's a number. And at the end of the day, y'all have to realize that these numbers are what they're ruling the whole world with. You can act like they mean nothing, but this is the universal language of the world. And until you learn how and what these numbers' properties are, that's why I was able to tell y'all something about 9/11. And I said that I could sense something coming, actually, as far as 2020, something coming in that year of 2020, such as the coronavirus. I said this before it came in, before something ever happened. December the 31st of 2019. I said that. I said I could sense something coming. And what it is, I actually don't know, but I could sense something on the energy of 9/11 like. And I showed my discovery, which has to deal with 9/11. The Twin Towers were dealing with the mathematics that I have with my work. Factual. They were two towers, 2 meters apart in height. How tall? There were 415. 4 plus 1 equals 5, which is what I'm showing you at the top of my work. And then 417. $415 meters and 417. And in 2020, what the thing is, I made my discovery in 2019. And when I showed the discovery on a channel, I said something about twin towers and 2 twos or 20. So 22 or 20 and 20 was twin twos, twin 20s. 2020s, twin 20s. If you understand what I'm saying there. Twin 20s, 2020, Corona. And I said that something was going to hit on the level of that as far as hitting the United States, and it did. Now the fact is, these towers are twin towers, right? Are twins identical usually? Yes, they are. And you can see that they tried to have an identical feature going on here. But what are the two things that, or I ain't mean to say two, but 2 meters is the difference between the two. What is the Roman numeral for 2? When you write 2, you can't act like all of this means nothing. Twin towers, when you look at them, the Roman numeral, like that pause symbol that you see up there in the right corner, upper right hand corner, is 2 lines. So there you have twins, or 2 towers, twin towers. Twin towers, you get 2. And they're 2 meters apart in height. It's very important. We know that the Central Intelligence Agency has something to do with this building literally going through what it went through. Right or wrong? Well, you also have something called this right here. If Bush now has something to do with it, the Central Intelligence Agency is who he's worked with. I hope you know that. Skull and Bones. And the Central Intelligence Agency literally has this as their campus. My discovery. See that? Pretty amazing, ain't it? How the Central Intelligence Agency has who has access to time traveling and stuff like that. As far as we know that, right? Has access to that. Pretty amazing. Here's a better picture of it. As you can see right here. You can count the steps. It looks just like Angkor Wat. If you pay attention to Angkor Wat's structure, what do you see that's the commonality between here and Angkor Wat? If some people act like they can't see it at Angkor Wat. So you see that there. Public intelligence. You have to understand that they studied these our ancient ancestors, such as Angkor Wat's people. And so when you look at Angkor Wat, this is where you're seeing the same thing going on here. Pretty amazing. You know what I'm saying? So, shit crazy, man. So when you look at the two, I don't know how this ended up back here, but anyway. Oh, yeah, I remember now. You ain't gonna let me do it. Well, It's pretty easy to understand that when you look at the base of those two and what's going on there, you got the same thing. Imagine that on top of the CIA tower at that point. If that's what that looks like. This is what Angkor Wat's blueprint looks like. You can see the CIA tower is this part right here, down here. Not CIA tower, but CIA headquarters. Then you got the CIA headquarters. And that's where that would be right there. You see what I'm saying about Angkor Wat, how it goes like that? Pretty easy to understand. Pretty amazing. So Fort in that, you see how that's like a point that they have right there in the center, and they elongate that just like they do at Angkor Wat, because it's a stretch of time that's constant. There's something that they're communicating there. It's a code, a fractal code, a code of conduct. And that's exactly what you see going on at Angkor Wat. And so don't act like this all means something later once you actually see this in a movie, because my discovery is actually, I haven't let y'all know this, I don't think, over here on YouTube yet, but I have some good news. My discovery is actually going to be on the History Channel. The History Channel, I mailed them a print of my work in 2024, last year. And the fact is, when I mailed them that, I sent them a letter as well. And this has to deal with, yes, it's nerve-wracking. That means I'm gonna be on TV. So my discovery literally with ancient aliens literally is going to be on History Channel. So you're gonna see a nigga who did it big like that on History Channel. And so everybody who shows support, I appreciate you. I strongly do. J-Ma, shout out to him. And everybody else that has watched but not commented, I'll say shout out to you, but I ain't got anything else beyond that to say. I got more to say to J-Ma as far as him monetarily helping me like he has, and me being able to do work for him as far as artwork in compensation. But this is something that y'all have to realize. You ain't gonna be able to be taught by anybody else, because literally all they could do is copy me. I'm the first person and only person that could teach you this. So I could have put the CIA intelligence building on this just like this. I hope y'all understand, like when you look at Angkor Wat, because paying attention to how they had things drawn out or carved out even. You see this design, and then you see a stretch in between. You see what I'm saying? That's what you see going on with the CIA building. You see that stretch that's in between. And that's what I'm showing that stretch is 4 point. You can't draw 4.5 like that fractal code has there over and over and over and over and over again, because it spirals into each other at one time. So you got to communicate that as a stretch. And that's what's going on there. It's communicating the essence of the timeline. So when you build these things in alignment with the stars, you're building them in alignment with a certain specific time. Damn, that's an older picture. 1999. It look way different now. That's ridiculous. Well, I can't believe I've done what I've done. Boy, that's crazy. I can't believe that I have done what I've done. This shit wild. This government information, boy, for real. Government level information. Ain't even a joke. Same thing with them. 4.5 on the roof. So that's a commonality even in our time with the intelligence agencies that we have. That's the one symbol that they do have with their architecture. If you don't have a building's symbol that speaks their architecture, usually speaks of their culture. If you can't find clothing that they were wearing that has their symbols that they're wearing. So if we found, or if there were people in the future that found relics of our nature, stuff that we wore, it will let them know about us. And so does our architecture. This is the other half of the steps at my day insulated I'm showing you has the upper half and not the lower half. So you can count it and it still is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and going downward on the other side mirroring. So you can see that they have the upper half there too. So for whatever reason they separated those. So there's something being communicated there. You can find it where it's on one side in Ollantaytambo. You can find it where there's a downward half. You can find it where there's an upper half. It's different ways to communicate a number. Social Security number. Outside of your name, your number is the main thing that you're really identified as. Somebody else can have the same name as you, but your number is what makes you really. Your fingerprint that you have, it's like a number. Like the numbers that we have, look like the number 9. There are 9 numbers in our fingerprints, look like the number 9. With this geometry, the spiral. This is the Mandelbrot set, which is a fractal. And when I brought up digital things earlier, this is something that it takes digital technology in order to be seen, for the most part. It takes a very long time for a human being, in other words, to draw out everything mathematically precise and very huge at that too. To draw out the Mandelbrot set based on mathematical equations and stuff like that. Parabolas and yeah, that's a lot of graphing. So the fact is, this is also known as the fingerprint of God. This right here, there's a left and a right. We go into all of that. I say that all the time. But the core of what I realize is the Chicana is literally the embodiment of number in itself. When it comes down to number or digits, that's the bridge between the spiritual and the physical. That's how y'all literally are communicated to by angels, some of y'all will say. Y'all say angel numbers, right? Or angel digits is what we could call it. And that's literally the way that they try to communicate with y'all. If y'all believe in it at all, then you're literally understanding completely what I'm saying. And that's that the numbers are a bridge between the spirit realm and why don't they communicate with words instead? The first thing they use is numbers in a sequence to communicate something to you, right? That's because it's a bridge. It's just like a remote is a bridge between you and the TV. Instead of you having to get up to touch the TV, you can pick up a remote and it can help you communicate a message. And that's what the Chicana is. It's like a remote that you could pick up to communicate a message, or an antenna. So the fact is, the Chicana goes with the digital world. And the fact is, the Chicana is a bridge as well between the spiritual world and the physical world. So it shows you here it's the bridge between three worlds, but there's something very important going on here, representing a bridge between worlds. There's something very important going on here in the world of the dead, or the spiritual realm. The Chicana is a symbol of the collective unconscious, which is mainly a map for complete spiritual development. And if anybody was watching me and was listening to me yesterday, I was saying very imperatively, that I work from the subconscious. Now, something that's very important is there is no Chicana shown in India, right? When you ask AI that. But it says that this is a bridge between the spiritual world and the physical world. And so I have to show you And so when you look at an ancient depiction of the universe, these aren't old enough. These are 1850, as you can see, recent. But they do have it there as well. So it's something very important, but I can't see what is written as. I don't see it on this one. And actually it is there. It's down here, and as you can see, how they have it is like a bridge kind of. They put it in between. So maybe these, when y'all are talking about what these worlds are, when y'all look at the flat earth maps and stuff like that, maybe this right here is some form of a communication of a bridge that y'all need to not overlook when it comes to what they see as the realms. Because those circles right there are realms. They spoke of higher existence, higher realms of living, and therefore this is a bridge that's also shown here. Like you see those lines. That's what you see with my discovery here. A bridge. With the pyramid to be built. A bridge. Stop looking for me to fuck up and show something fucked up, and show where I'm wrong. Show where I'm wrong at. Where am I wrong at? That's what I'm waiting on. Disprove me. Disprove me. Disprove me. Damn thing is messing with my eyes right now. This is just to show how precise this is. So as you can see there, those metrics are nearly exact. And the fact is that is on a part of the earth. Now the question is, how big of a site? This is, whenever you're dealing, we're looking at something that's a map. And when you're communicating something as far as a map, you have a site. So what is the site that's being communicated? See what's going on there? So damn thing fucking with my eyes, bro. Yeah. So you see where this is at? With a dumb ass. Woo, very on point. But you see how that lands where it lands? Very on point. That's in the middle of the Sahara Desert down there. This is in the northern lands, and it's also the fact that these some of y'all might not understand what I'm explaining even when I say what I'm about to say. But the fact that these circles with the target spots where they are, when I do that right there and put that on this map, the fact that they're so circled or near in towards the apex or the center dot, that's more so remnant of that being more fact-based. Because the closer that you get towards the edge from the northern hemisphere looking at the earth, you would have a curvature going on that you have to consider. The earth starts to curve, and that would have to be accounted for with graphing anything else. So the fact is, what you see here is the number 1 . It would be the number 1. It looks like the fractal of number 1. Look right there. Right there on this one. So that's what you'll be on. Whoa. Surely gonna do that. I know that screwed some things up. So that's that one. And so this is the whole thing. Then that would mean that would be this one over here. And for that to line up like that. Ain't that crazy how that's me? That is amazing. It don't never bother me to be there by myself. The rectangle is about the same size as Angkor Wat. That's something worth considering. Damn. Golly, bro. That's crazy, man. Ain't no use in telling y'all no discovery I make, man. I could be there and discover something. I mean, because y'all ain't gonna understand. Y'all, you see that right? Damn, there's the bridge. You see what I'm saying? Look, it's right there in front of me. So literally, you gotta really study what they have there. So the Chicana was not there, but that's literally what you see going towards the center. If not this right here that you see there, you see this right here going towards the center. And this is what ancient showed you. Understand that ancient people showed you this. And I'm showing you something right here. I mean, I couldn't lie about nothing, bro. You see what I got there? I don't see how don't nobody get what I'm showing is, man, you got a full-blown star out there on the ground, bro, that is. That they think is a Buddhist mandala. That I have with my birthday in it. That right there is the answer to. I'm in shock. That damn thing is really fucking with my eye, bro. Cause what could they be pointing towards? What is it letting you know about the Sahara Desert? Let me see. That one needs to be kept. The Sahara Desert covering most of North Africa is a vast and arid region. Okay, right. However, there are quarry and stone in the Sahara can be challenging due to its harsh climate and remote locations. However, there are areas with significant geological formations that can make them suitable for quarry. The Sahara Desert has various geological formations including sandstone, limestone, and granite. Silicified sandstone, a type of sandstone that has become hard due to the disposition of silica, is particularly suitable for quarrying grinding stones. The Karga Depression, located in Egypt's western desert, is an area with the significant The best area in the Sahara Desert to quarry stone is likely the Karga Desert in Egypt's western desert. I don't know. I was trying to look at that area to see if that um, spot that landed on could actually be an area that's pointing to for quarrying stones. That's the first thing I was thinking of as far as the Nazca Sun star. So I'm gonna end this one here. Maybe y'all can sleep on it, meditate on it, like the Buddhist mandala. So y'all must think it's evil or something. I don't know what the hell y'all problem is, man. I don't know how y'all can't see what it is that I see, but it ain't about force or nothing. It's about some things just have to be. Some things you just can't stop. I know it could sound like I'm cocky, but I'm not. I know some person could watch and probably judge what it is that I'm saying, you know what I mean? But the fact is, at least I am up in the midst of the night doing something positive. Is it positive or negative what I'm doing? It's positive. Straight up. That's one check for me. Am I adding to what I'm doing or am I taking away from what I'm doing? I'm adding to what I'm doing. Because everything that I am saying, I'm the first to say. Ain't nobody else can say that they said it before me or showed it before me. So I'm doing something good with my time. And when you watch me, you can't judge me and say anything negative about me. Because fact is, if you got the time to watch me, for one thing's for sure, is you don't have anything at that moment to do with your time. And if that's all day, you never have anything to do with your time. And so you ain't one to judge me like that. What great have you done with your life? So that you have to question yourself. Because I'm not wasting my time. Beyond your kids and your family that you do have, that's where you have the knowledge that you leave behind. As a man, that's what makes you great. Because if you don't leave any knowledge behind, ain't nobody gonna know of you for anything. That's why if you write a book as a man, everybody can know everything that you wrote in that book and what made you as a man.